Hi, I'm Manny Fitzsimmons. I'm your Washington Realtors Legal Hotline lawyer, and today's video is another in our series entitled Real Estate Fundamentals You Should Know. And today's question comes from brokers who sometimes wish they'd ask the question a little sooner than they get around to actually asking it. It comes from brokers who have already left ABC firm and they're now licensed with XYZ firm, and while they were at ABC, they obtained a listing or they were working with a buyer who entered a purchase and sale agreement. And the question the broker is now asking is, am I still going to get my commission from ABC firm? Or maybe even it comes from a broker who has left ABC firm and tried to take listings with them from ABC to their new firm and encountered difficulty with their designated broker. So let's talk about both of those questions. Let's start first with the second question, which is, I'm a listing broker, I'm leaving my firm and I want to take my listings with me. Can I do that? And the answer is not easily. You could take your listings with you if and only if the designated broker from the firm that you're leaving, so in this case it would be ABC firm, only if ABC firm's designated broker and the seller consent to you taking your listing. Because what you've got to do is you've got to terminate the contract between seller and ABC firm, because after all, that's what a listing agreement is a contract between a seller and the listing firm. So you're going to have to terminate the listing agreement between the seller and your original firm, of course, with agreement of both of the parties to the contract. And then you're going to have to enter a new listing agreement between seller and your new listing firm. So that's possible to do, but by no means does the departing listing broker have the right to take that seller with them. Even if the seller is the listing broker's mother, it doesn't matter who the seller is. The seller is in a contract with ABC firm. The listing broker, who is a subagent of ABC firm, has no right to take that seller with them to XYZ firm. So have this conversation with your designated broker before you leave ABC firm. And if it's a seller that you don't want to leave behind, then you're going to have to delay your departure from ABC firm because you cannot necessarily take them with you. Okay, what about a transaction where you already have mutual acceptance at the time that you leave ABC firm and go to XYZ firm? The answer to this question is controlled entirely by the terms of your independent contractor agreement. Hopefully you have a written independent contractor agreement with ABC firm or with the firm that you're leaving. If you don't, then you have an oral independent contractor agreement. Somehow or another, you have an agreement that controls the terms of your relationship with that original firm, whether it's a written contract or an oral contract. Hopefully, that contract speaks to this question. The question being, what happens to compensation earned before you leave the firm, but not payable until after you leave the firm? Because the compensation is earned when a broker takes a listing, or earned when a broker has parties reach mutual acceptance on a purchase and sale agreement that where the broker represents one of the parties. In both cases, the act of earning the compensation, the real estate brokerage service that earns the compensation, is taking the listing or reaching mutual acceptance. But of course, the commission is not payable and may never be payable if the transaction doesn't close. It's not payable until it does close. So your independent contractor agreement will have to control what happens to your commission in the meantime. Some firms reserve the right to turn over management of that transaction to another broker still licensed to the firm. And if that's the case, then there will be some sharing of compensation between the broker that takes over the transaction and the broker who originally earned compensation in the transaction. Other independent contractor agreements are not that specific. Sometimes they vest discretion in the designated broker to determine how much commission will be shared with each broker, the departing broker and the broker who takes over management. Some firms give the entire commission to the broker who's already departed. This is a question you should answer, however, before you leave ABC firm and head over to XYZ. You need to know the answer to this question while you're still licensed with the firm where you earned your compensation. If you need help with this issue, if you believe that you're entitled to compensation, that ABC firm hasn't paid you, then you need to talk to your own lawyer. This is not a question that the legal hotline can help you resolve. I can give you the background information I've just given, but I could never help any member of our association resolve this issue with their designated broker, because this is a specific legal issue that requires specific legal counsel for the two parties involved. So the best I could do on the legal hotline would be to advise you to seek legal counsel about an issue of this nature. But if you need some background information on this topic or any other, send an email to me, legalhotline@warealtor.org. Thank you for being a Washington Realtors member.